SFJ 4x4 Studios presents
in my oversized four-wheel drive Jeep.
a Jeep podcast starring industry experts.
Pure monosity. What? Say that again.
With mad scientist Scott Brown,
Use my drill press as a sort of lathe.
our host Neil Simpson,
If one light goes out, they all go out.
filled with shenanigans.
We are really professional with Jeeps.
This is I Speak Jeep.
Good morning, afternoon, evening,
I really thought you were going to say good morning, Vietnam for a second.
wherever, however you are. Thank you for joining us. This is the I Speak Jeep podcast presented by SFJ4x4.com. My name is Neil, and joining me as usual, back from his
From
respite. You don't sound like you're that much back, I'll be honest with you.
Got a fog in my throat still.
Yes.
Ryan jumping in saying morning already.
Good morning, Ryan. Good. We're glad that you're back.
Yes.
We held it down last week.
Yep.
Did
good.
Jeffrey was a good stunt man, standing.
Yep.
It
It was okay.
was okay.
Daddy Jeep saying good morning as well.
What I think is so funny about the Italian Stallion is how phenomenally comfortable he is on the production side of audiovisual theater, production.
Yeah.
Period.
Put him in a Grinch costume and he can swing off everything.
He got arrested. Folks, if you're listening, there's a video out there. We're going to make it public very soon. And a big shout out to our local police force and tolerating our shenanigans. But Jeffrey got himself arrested in the Grinch.
Arrested.
The Grinch got arrested.
The Grinch got arrested because he tried stealing a fire engine, it appeared. He was swinging and stealing presents at the Christmas parade.
But put him not in his Grinch costume on this podcast with Neil, and suddenly I'm a robot.
I am trying really hard to make words come out of my mouth.
Which I get. I was that way at one time.
You were. That's 100% the truth.
Now I just whatever.
So I started in stage acting, and then I immediately realized I am much better behind the set.
Okay. You made that understand.
Stop being self-conscious.
Just rip the Band-Aid off.
Let it go.
Let it go.
Oh.
Let it go.
It's kind of like watching the videos from Davey, and you're like, "Oh, you had that on camera? Crap!"
Oh man. We had
Real quick, Amy said good morning, and Joe Brilla, good morning, gentlemen. I suppose you're all wondering why I called this meeting.
calls for this meeting today. We are.
Actually introduced.
And,
Oh,
Yeah, they got derailed there.
and Ryan says a face for the radio.
oh, that's Jeffrey. Yes, at least.
I am mad scientist Scott Brown, and today I was picking out gift ideas for you.
Gift ideas for our viewers and listeners. And so, of course, in this season of commune, of fellowship, we thank you so much for joining us and being part of the fun that is the I Speak Jeep podcast. It is important we take a note and recognize the fact that this is a podcast about the life that surrounds the Jeep brand and off-roading and automotive community. We do talk a lot about technical minutia of our vehicles.
I really likes it.
I can tell you, I get really giddy, and we can get into really finite, meticulous, really mundane things. I'll circle back to a conversation I had in 2006 or 2007. I don't remember exactly. And it was when I was first introduced to Scott, and somebody was like, "Yeah, this guy knows so much about Jeeps, but God, is it boring?" And I was like, I have to meet this guy. And we can get into that, folks, but honestly, we just want to talk about the fun things, the cool things, the gift ideas, the aspects of the DIY community, where and how we got to where we're at, and include you in that process. And so that's what this podcast is dedicated to. Yes, there'll be some sprinkling of technical details, but really we're here to talk about the lifestyle that surrounds the Jeep life. and all of the aspects of that, which is what makes this so unique. Of different than the Harleys, different than the Corvettes, and arguably different than any other brand within the automotive industry. So, um, with with that said, we have a fun show. If you are the first time joining us, we're going to talk through the meat and potatoes. Well, first of all, we're going to do some updates from our personal lives, and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes discussion for our day, and then typically we do some type of product trail event review. But instead, since we're going to be reviewing our meat and potato conversation for the day, we're just going to go right into the shenanigans of the 12 days of Jeepmas, 12 Jeeps of Christmas, which is, does Scott have his note cards that he's supposed to? I feel like Scott is getting out of this right now.
I feel like I had to prepare soup for a day and a half, so no, they did not get done.
My neck, you're making my neck tight.
So the cards are prepared for the final week, just like the music is.
I think Scott is going to have to beatbox then.
I don't think Scott can with his. He barely has a voice.
Oh, you're going to have to beatbox. I want to hear you beatbox later. That's
just two boots and cats.
Somebody is beatboxing if I have to sing. Oh my
I heard
gosh,
Davey raps. Maybe we should have him come rap it.
On from behind the camera onto the studio to beatbox. Before we get too far off track, we have made a Facebook post that's gone wildly crazy right now. Folks, we want your recommendations for guests. We are actively reaching out to some of these people that you have tagged in to the post. We are starting that process to tag in and reach out and that kind of stuff. How and who we can bring on set with us in 2023. We have dose episodes, including today, left. So today and then next week, and then we're done for a couple weeks. We're on a hiatus. We're going to be, shifting some things around here. We've got big plans in store for our listeners, for our viewers, and we want to maximize your experience. We've already started that thanks to our production side of things, the guys' constant reinvestment into our equipment. It's one of the biggest things that people give us feedback on is they go, hey, we know you're in a garage working on Jeeps. There's literally, Jeeps 5 feet. I could reach out and touch it on the other side of the camera. And yet we sound good. We look as good as we can possibly look. That was God's doing, not the lighting.
This is really why I'm off camera.
That's right. That's right.
With what we were given.
And so we'll be refreshing some of that and bringing some fresh stuff in 2023. So don't miss today. Don't miss next week. If you're joining us in your ear holes, we thank you so much. Whether you're driving to or from work or on a big long trip. We value your commitment to this podcast. We're going to have some special bonus content for you over the holiday break. With that said, without further ado, we do like to talk about our weekends, our updates. You were sick. Yeah. Did you get much done on the hot rod, that traditional 36 year one resto mod?
I can't remember crap. I'm just going to tell you what I did last.
Oh, good. So we're all going to hear about the same thing we already know about.
I apologize.
If you aren't following Scott, Facebook, Instagram, 1936 Ford Crazy, get on there. Constant trudging through life updates of just beautiful, amazing fabrication, workmanship, fabricobbling.
So the biggest thing is just don't let people tell you that.
Amen.
If you have a rusty car and you have steel, go buy some tools and fix it.
I'm going to pause you for a second because we had a couple comments I haven't read, and then we have somebody asking for a question. So we got Joe saying a sprinkling.
Sprinkle.
And then Chuck going Monday meeting of the minds. Good morning, Jeep Wizards.
Good morning.
Joe asking for Freebird when you were talking about saying. No. And then Mike is asking if he can ask a question.
Mike, we would love a question. We're going to stop. We're going to wait for a question from Mike. No, we're going to wait. Yeah. We're going to wait with bated anticipation for a question from Mike. And if you're listening in, understand that we encourage you to come over to the Facebook Live at 10:19 a.m. every Monday, just about. And you too can join in the fun conversation. We'd love for you to be part of it. No, I'll remind you. Don't worry. You know that's my specialty. I'm just here waiting for Mike. Mike wanted to ask a question. I want to answer Mike's question. Are you out there? It is. Oh my God, this is fantastic.
So he goes, I have a 4.0 2002, took the engine out, and I got an engine off a propeller. It is, I don't know what year it is, but the motor mounts won't fit on. I think there are 3 bolt triangle motor mounts. What do you think? I got pictures of it beside the motor. What you want me to send them to you?
Not all 4-liters were created equal. They made them specifically for the chassis they needed. It's easy control. Yeah, it's answering.
2002 4.0 took the engine out. And they get an engine off a propeller. That's the part I don't know specifically what he's inquiring about.
It would have to be either Grand or a TJ.
It's a Grand or a TJ, and I'm wondering if he's got a Grand.
Very specific to this chassis.
Correct.
So that is my suspicion, is that what you're dealing with is the block and never cast the same. Even though it is a 4-liter, is a 4-liter.
Many years ago, there was actually there was bossing that was on the side, the wall of the block itself. So they basically poured all the blocks, and then in the next step of the production line, they would then tap them, right? So yep, Mike, that's what we figured. Mike says yes, Laredo Grand Cherokee. Scott and I could have told you that, but that's fine. We always try to say we're not going to immediately jump to assumptions, because if we tell you about your vehicle before you tell us, then there is a chance that we would be a jump to assumptions, Matt. But in the back of our brain, we're both going, yep, you got a Grand engine there. But long story short, so we have all these bosses, basically the ribbing on the motor would have all gone through the casting mold just the same. And then you would have got to the next guy in line. And when he wiped the Cheeto crumbs off of his hand, he would have put the boring bit, drilling bit. Yeah, I don't want to.
I'll even go as far as not all of them were casts that being same.
At that point. At that point, right? And so that's what I was going to get to, is that years ago, I was, I've got to contextualize everything, right? I got to go back to back in the dark days when we created the wheel. So we go back to the late 80s. They were all cast, are largely the same. And it just had to be.
In the 90s, they just, and 2000.
Correct. By that point in time,
the 2000. Why the motors were literally stick on golf courses.
The problem is that we're always processing information as a generalized community in a 10 to 20 year ripple effect. That means by the time that we're, it is 2005, 10, 12, 15, people are going, oh, well, I could just take this block out of this, 89 Jeep Wrangler, and I can shove it into an 89 blah, whatever. And it's just not the case. We did that 40 years ago. And so now you're dealing with actual casting differences.
There is a pad
themselves.
Motor that have a stamping, not a casting number. And you should be able to run to find out what it was for and what year it is.
It should be on the driver's side, if I recall.
It's on the machine flat surface with actual stamping into.
Yeah, don't look for the actual raised letters. A big misnomer online for your average person is there's actually casting numbers that are into the sidewall of the block. Those are not what you want. You want that machine flat surface, and then the next guy who had Dorito fingers is tinking his numbers. And that's not to discredit anybody who builds our vehicles from the factory. We just have personally toured professional big 3 motherships. Yeah. And we can promise you they were eating Cheetos and ho-hos and all that kind of stuff while they worked. And I just promise you that was our experience. It was true. It was factual. God bless those people. So, all right, Mike, thanks for the question. If you want to send us more information, you can send it to contact, CONTACT at sfj4x4.com. That goes for anybody who's reaching out to us and has a technical question. Honestly, we do a above average job responding to people when they have some of those basic, informational questions. You were telling us about never letting people say you can't do something, and if you have a chunk of steel and forming it.
Yes.
You're welcome.
I have officially welded everything in the driver's side except the one thing I was going to do right before I got sick. And that's where the original floor and the new floor meet. Did that one of the first things. I did not make a good gap there. This was really in the learning phase.
Were you intending to butt weld them?
I was going to.
Oh, okay. And just let me wait a minute. Let me just, if you are unfamiliar with welding, butt welding is hard. It is like if you're jumping out into the game of welding, butt welding is one of the hardest things you can do. And basically my visual for those who are listening is I'm taking my fingertips and I'm just putting them, just gently together. And then you add to the small gauge or the small thickness of the sheet metal that he would be welding together to do that. You could butt weld and maybe it'd be a slightly heavier gauge, structural 1/4 inch, 3/8.
You can fill a gap there.
You could fill a gap, but butt welding sheet metal is like wildly challenging. Olympian athlete stuff here.
Now, we get a secret. The more gap you have, the more likelihood of blowing hole you have.
That's too much oxygen in there.
So it's something. So I'm gonna make a pad underneath of it and have a bridge. Around the bridge, you
Okay.
have old Ford meet new Ford.
Okay. Nice.
And meet new.
Okay.
And it's where my kids are going to be jumping in for them. Probably.
Oh boy.
Very good. So
Oh boy.
that's the last thing I got to do.
And this is on your actual floorboard?
It's actually on the board over behind the driver's seat.
This is okay. You were literally saying it is the
Where
footboard
feet
where the
are
kids,
going.
where their feet are going to step in and out of the car
Yep.
regularly.
Yep.
Oh,
Awesome.
God bless you.
So once that is done, when I did put the door on and it fits again, that was good. I'm going to go into door repair. It was a little scary, and everything's welded, nothing's going to move. And I'm like, oh, maybe I should put the door on.
Right.
Novel concept.
Right.
And a funny thing is me and a guy I actually talked to, he does a lot of YouTube, is working on 36 Rooster. And he's at the same points of that car.
Okay.
And I put my door on and he put his doors in and everything fit on both.
So you're both like celebrating. That's awesome.
And Chuck's saying, Scott's stacking dimes.
Scott is doing his best. He's starting somewhere, right? And that's I'll, as from an ownership conversation, I mean, we have incredibly proficient, talented individuals who work here. So yes, I'll say he's stacking dimes, but that's not to say that people who are listening to us need to think they got to jump in and stack dimes. You just got to start somewhere. You just got to start welding. Yeah, just start swimming.
It keeps swimming.
I too had an issue of the non-door fitting, and if you're unfamiliar, what we're talking about is that heat will pull around metal, and your car is partially unibody. Is that? No, it's full frame chassis. Okay, I thought for some reason that was part. So there's less of that option because it is currently bolted to its chassis, right? So I took Chuck Norris and I climbed up on that rock the other day. And I parked it.
And left it that way.
And I left it that way. So Chuck Norris, tunned out LJ, all squatted and flexed out, looked super cool in my opinion.
It was touching thunder.
Oh, it was beautiful. Bump stops, had it just in the fender flare. Wasn't going to completely shred the rubber. And I had to get something out of the tailgate, which obviously has a 40 hanging on it as well. So think about totally flexed out. And I overconfidently was like, that's okay. I'll just flip the latch and open it up. Right. So I open up the tailgate and I go to shut it. And it's like, good, not latching. And I was like, oh no, I had to work at pulling the lifting and futzing. And I was like, that is what I need to use it. I can't just leave it up there and look pretty. I mean, that's, oh yeah. I'm getting the itch. I want to go. I got to go wheel. I've seen all these people, and I'm like, I can get out of here.
This Saturday. That is, I think, the last SUI.
I thought that already happened.
No, they're doing another one-day event.
My daughter has a dance recital. Life, man, life. All right. Anything else about your updates?
I'm hoping that they keep getting better here. It was interesting to get better in 2022. I will tell you that.
Oh man, it's been a drag.
I want to get to see a doctor. You have to plan about 3 months to 6 months in advance, and you have to have a stand in at urgent care.
Yes.
It's kind of fussing along at on my own pacing.
It's awesome.
But feeling better. This won't sound weird.
So in true, just keep swimming, just start swimming. I managed, even though schedule was tight this weekend, and we had family, we had professional commitments, we had stuff that we needed to do. I still managed to go out and just sheath around our final elevated window on the tiny house build. So I figured it was,
We are weatherish type.
we're weatherish. We're about 85% dried in. We're weatherish tight. I started running some of the base electrical in for the generator so that we can have some lights up in there this winter. And we're in a position we're going to get some of our last window door, to seal it in so we can start on the interior work. Pretty exciting stuff. If you are just joining us, or if you're not familiar, we've built collectively here within the business gnarly, crazy builds. I had the opportunity to review some of that just this past week and this weekend for our company Christmas party. And looking back, just in 2022 alone, some of the builds we turned out, dozens of big builds that, I'll be honest, a lot of just businesses would be happy to do one of those. 7-8 years ago, I was happy to do one of those. And now we're like, oh, hey, that should be done in 2 weeks. You know what I mean? And how crazy that portion of our life is. So for Scott and I, we've done these things. We do these things. And that's where then the challenge is to do the period correct resto mod on the 36. And then my wife and I deciding to hand stick build a small home together. It comes from that rugged individualism, that do-it-yourself mentality that accompanies our brand.
I mean, that's the seriousness.
Well, that would not be the first time that somebody has accused me of that by any stretch of the imagination. So,
Life isn't as fun if they're all tight.
oh my God, nobody tells stories when things went all well. They tell them when the train falls off the tracks. So,
Those are the best memories.
they are. So, unless the train really falls off the tracks, which case,
That does happen.
So I went out and made sure to do something on the house. Again, just like you're saying, we just have to do it. I'm out there, the wind's blowing, it's uncomfortable. And I said, you know what? I have to do something, right? Get that window trimmed in, get some of the house wrap, in place. Blah, blah, blah.
If you have a project and it's conditioning, just make yourself go do
One thing. And then all of a sudden you're like, man, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah.
All right. Well then, folks, we have dose episodes. We're well into number 1. Next week is the final. Obviously, what is our topic next week, Jeffrey?
It's a surprise.
It's a surprise. Jeffrey doesn't want to disclose.
AK, he's not sure right now.
No, so we were hoping to get in a last minute guest. Unfortunately, the availability wasn't working for that. So
Okay.
we are pivoting.
Pivot.
Pivot.
So it'll be a surprise season ender episode. The most important thing, though, will be the 12 Days of Jeepmas will be sung with music and cue cards.
And you know what? The truly most important thing is you, our viewer, our listener, will be there with us while that happens. So that's really all that matters. We're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be talking about the best off-road automotive gifts for your loved one, your off-roader, or for yourself in 2022.
Hey, Jeep family, we hope that you're enjoying this content, and we want to make sure that you head over to sfj4x4.com, find some of this cool merchandise, give us a call at our facility, 440-813-3663. Option 1. And make sure that you tune in to our live podcast every Monday at 10:19 a.m. and check out our updates on YouTube on Tuesdays and Fridays. Until then, Jeep on.
Are we?
Yep.
Are we there? There we go. All right. We're going to be talking about gift giving. The gift.
And I'm going to make it actually vintage Jeep.
Oh, you came thematically equipped. Interesting. Doing your best. Represent the vintage restoration aspect of SFJ 4x4, which obviously has been moving along swimmingly. And we do have deposits into 2023.
Yeah.
And we have, if you're not familiar, we have hashtag not a restoration. which is this meticulous at this point, not a restoration, which I have lofty goals of dragging it around and showing it off in 2023. So make sure you are following along for that. Pretty cool stuff in the process. You have some vintage stuff. Do you want to start off with something? How did you categorize yours at all?
What I was thinking was like, what is the most useful gifts that a vintage Jeeper can have?
Okay.
And from my own experience in Amy's company,
All right. Don't give us all of them. Just give us like one. Pick one off the list.
So I went and tier from high price to low price.
Okay.
I kind of ignored a little bit what Neil said.
Well, you know what though? I actually tiered mine as well. I tiered mine into price ranges.
So you want to go highest, lowest, or lowest to highest?
Oh my gosh! I would. Anybody else?
I think Scott goes highest to lowest, and then you go lowest to highest.
Oh, okay. All right, we'll mix it up a little bit.
Highest gift, if you have a Jeep that is languishing or you're trying to make it work, is buy yourself a painless Jeep wiring harness.
Yes,
because Jeep fires are a real thing and not fun.
So what's the price range on those?
So that is an 815 to
815. Yeah,
depending on what you buy. And yes, you should buy paint.
and you know what, with that painless kit, and I hear people, and we do. You at this point, much of our relationship was actually formed in the fire of painless wiring. Honestly, and when we first started this, painless was painful. And unfortunately, I had said that for a while, because you were trying to use this generic or generalized harness kit. Now, when you come into us for any type of Jeep vintage resto mod, probably one of the very first things we're going to quote you is a painless wiring harness kit, because, as you said, fires are real. We're updating 40, 50-year-old electrical systems.
Yep.
And then it allows us to do and add cool trim package issues. Also, higher stereo output and speaker and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and you're starting from scratch. You don't have to go in and make everything work with this 40, 45-year-old wire that's already injured.
Do you know how many people have touched it by the time that we've seen it 40, 50 years later? And that's the thing, folks. If you're listening to us and you have that vintage Jeep, so many people come in and are like, well, I don't need to put wiring at it. And I'm thinking, that's the veins. Those are the nervous system that's running through your vehicle. That's so critical to the operation.
And it's just a disconnect, but it would be cool if you could be like, hey, insurance, I have brand new wire and it's properly installed. I need a discount because it is really a safety concern.
We should get a hold of Greg for that.
Get a hold of our insurance company and let them know.
Crazy.
They should be giving us discounts on these wiring.
Yeah.
Totally. That's a good one. That is a good one on the higher end. It's still under $1,000. And I think that not that
and if you're looking at like, what do I buy my husband and he's got this vintage vehicle? Get him that, because that will make the whole project go better.
Well, and I was going to say, and sometimes, I mean, not that I'm encouraging, people to give expensive gifts for Christmas, but sometimes people are going, hey, I got a holiday bonus. I've got, I'm going to give myself a gift this year. And again, if you're starting that vintage project, start there. It's not immediate gratification of wheels and tires.
But you should do that last.
And, none of us do, but it does make it work. So, all right, I'm going to jump over to mine, and I heard that I'm going to start on the lower end. So this is going to be, I've categorized mine just in general. Some of it's going to be products that were actually released recently within 2022, 2021. Some of it's just new or generalized products. And I did categorize mine with gifts under 25, under 50, and then under 1,000. So I'm going to pick off one or two under my 20 under 25, and I'm going to go with I'm going to go with a tire plug kit on my under 25. So if you are a person who's out on the trail, if you're just in your general vehicle, it is not that hard of a skill to learn to fix your own minor puncture. So you never know when a nail's going to jump in that tire, or or you're going to kind of, a stick's going to puncture it, whatever,
Yeah, anything.
And so a plug kit of good quality, can be purchased. Could be purchased and just kept alongside your jumper cables, alongside your first aid kit, stuff that we're already packing in our Jeep. And you could easily, for under $25, give that as a gift to a loved one, or give that gift to yourself.
And Rob's chiming in. Nice. I could use a tire plug kit.
And see,
so now I'm curious. Did you go wheeling? Did you puncture a tire?
Yeah, I was going to say, Rob.
What's the story here?
Is there more there that you need that tire plug kit? And then I'm going to jump in and I'm going to say, so that's something you could buy new. And obviously you can either, jump online and buy it. We have them in our showroom for sale. That's something that, is more that standard retail consumer experience. I'm going to go off the tracks a little bit on this next one and say, a folding military surplus shovel. There's a lot of really fancy shovels online that are sold for overlanding or expensive camping experiences.
It's such a useful tool.
But yeah, you can totally go to a military surplus.
I was just going to say, I've seen Scott use his as a hammer.
You can use it as a hammer. You can obviously dig for
any reason.
For any reason. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
And that's something that you can typically get at a military surplus store for under $25. It too gets stowed into your emergency use,
the back of your JK,
or just floating around randomly in the back of JK, waiting so that when you hit a bad bump, it hits one of your children in the back of the head. Ugh, Scott. Ugh. Don't let your wife know.
Here it is.
Oh no. So, and in my own experience, just recently, I was out snow wheeling, and honestly, I got to the point, even on the tons in the 40s, where I just pushing too much snow forward and too much underneath the Jeep, where I just kind of slowed to a stop. And honestly, the ability to shovel out some of that snow, I took about 20, 25, 30 minutes, and I just shoveled out the snow, and I backed it up 5 feet, and I ramrodded again into the heavy fresh fallen snow, and I was perfectly fine. My ability to shovel out the obstruction made the difference. So,
and Chuck is saying you could pound the snot out of some tent stakes.
That's right.
I'm assuming Chuck has some experience with that.
I think so.
Yeah.
Doubles as a tent. It's functional. It's affordable.
I don't think it doubles as a tent.
You could double as a tent tool. There we go. The tent construction tool.
If you take your hamster with you, it should be a good tent for it.
Maybe.
That was terrible.
What was?
All right. What do you got on the vintage side?
So my next cheapest, or going down the tier.
What price point? What's your price
is
point?
$100 to $200.
Okay.
Depending on how fancy you want to be.
I'm so fancy.
Is a bikini top.
Whoa.
Every CJ needs a bikini top.
Okay. What is a bikini top? For those people who are listening or joining us who may not be familiar.
It is a small piece of cloth that goes.
Because I feel like if you're a JK or a JL owner, now that's just a Sunrider.
Yeah.
I got my sunshade. Yes, okay, thank you.
Biggest
the Sunrider is really cool, though.
The biggest difference.
I know. I do know.
Is the new ones are all kind of meshy.
Yes.
And you can see light through it.
Yes.
That's not what happened back in the day.
No.
It was just a piece of vinyl.
Heavy vinyl.
And it's just something to be appreciated with that. And we're primarily talking about from the windshield to the roll bar. If you upgrade to a family bar, you can go over top of the kids a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, they're just out getting baked by.
Yeah, that's character building in that back seat of.
Better.
I was gonna say that's character build. Grow them with a vitamin D. Grow back better.
But it's just a really useful thing. It keeps you from getting wet from those times where you've gone too far without your top. It keeps the sun from baking you. It gives you that cool half tan.
Keeps your interior decent. You know what I mean. So you get in.
It keeps the bird stuff
off your seats. Yep.
So it's one of the first things we do every year when we take parts off that goes on. And CJ tops are just not friendly. They're not quick to put up or take down. So
equally, I love when Jeep owners who purchased a Jeep within the last decade or so, who then are like kind of they're intrigued by the romance of the older Jeeps, the nostalgia, and they're like, I want to get a CJ now, and they want the soft top, and I'm like, this
This is not not a good choice.
well, the reason you have such a nice top, listen to me, JL, JT, and JK owners.
Yeah, I'll go as far as TJ.
That's right, because we actually just talked to a recent TJ customer. Listen, we paid the price for you.
Yes.
We did. So there's the
When you get
romance.
snowed on and rained on with your top in fully up, completely secured position. That is CJYJ era.
They're like, it's leaking. Yes, we know.
Yep.
We're gonna do our best for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes.
One above a tarp. Basically what we're at.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
older we go, the more tarp life it becomes.
Oh my God. And the tops don't go up and down nicely. That's just the reality of the
If you've
situation.
got an hour to kill and still get leak time.
Yeah.
We're here for it.
Hey! Nice. All right, bikini top for the win. Otherwise, find a overpass to park under, pull it in the garage,
Minimum of an hour.
or get a tarp and throw it over the CJ. Nice. All right, and continuing my under 25 stocking stuffer. Quick gift to a friend, a fellow Jeeper off-roader. I'm gonna go with honestly, and I've had to admit this in my own point in life, a headlamp. I think a headlamp
In reading
is
classes.
stop it. Stop it. Is headlamp is one of those things like you almost just can't go wrong with. Now, I really like the compact LED headlamps specifically. They can be had for under $15. Run on a couple standard watch battery type batteries. That's nice. You buy them; they can double as your key fob for our newer
Bring up
Jeeps.
and get one that you can plug into your cell phone charger and charge.
Totally, if you
what's
wanna-
going to happen when you need it,
If you want to go with a rechargeable,
it's going to
absolutely.
be dead.
Yes. So one that utilizes USB-C or a micro USB, which would be fantastic, and that might be a little over the $25 mark, but you can come in there and honestly, again, circle back to if you're camping, the headlamp's valuable. If you're wrenching under the hood, you're using that tire plug kit on a night ride, and now you're trying to use both of your hands to saw open that hole and get the bonding material shoved in there. The headlamp just is versatile. It makes sense, and it's always appreciated. Easy peasy, easy purchase. And then last, I'm going to go with straight down to probably my most affordable piece. And we actually did hashtag not sponsored little segment on this, and it could probably be had for under $5 is paracord, right? Just a cool little multi-function, multi-use. It's like the Swiss Army knife of string.
Where are you buying your paracord for under $5?
We have paracord, and it would just be little runs.
Okay.
Little runs. You see, you're trying to buy big packages.
Well, yeah, because I'm going to do
grab
things with it.
handles. You're going to try and rappel off of a tree. Yes,
Absolutely.
Jeffrey.
I'm
Paracord,
parachuting with it.
parachuting with
See
it.
Jeff pulling, like he's got straps down the bed and he gets out this War and Peace pack of paracord. Sorry.
Hey,
He's got
listen,
all 11
your pinata
of
for
his
your daughter's
children.
birthday party was held with paracord. So
He's got 11 of his children weaving
Yes.
a recovery
It's a
strap.
family project.
But I use paracord to tie down some of the inflatables for the Christmas parade.
Oh, see, that is just there's merit in the paracord, and apparently, if you're Jeffrey, that's above the $25 range. I'm looking for just a
It's
little.
like $25, just not under $5.
I'm looking for like a little swatch that can go on your keychain.
Jeff straps.
Apparently,
Amy's chiming in. Dollar Tree has paracord. So
there you go.
I'm
There you go.
done talking.
All right.
What
So-
rating is that paracord?
Here we
I
go.
don't want to know.
So there's and then I'm going to jump right into my under 50 and grab one of those off of there. And products that are reasonably new within the last half a decade or so is the soft shackle. Talking about paracord. So under $50, you can find a number of manufacturers. And I'm not going to get into any specific manufacturer. The concept of a soft shackle itself takes basically a kinetic rope material. It uses friction holds of basically a knot and a loop. We specifically for years have been carrying the Yukon Yukon branded soft shackle. It's a made in the USA product. It's actually made by a tugboat company on the West Coast, is my understanding. And so that's the soft shackles that we've been using. It is arguably safer than the hard D rings that we all love to hang, specifically color coded.
And then when your D ring rusts onto your bumper like mine is, then you can put your soft shackle through that and hook on the things.
Or our D ring just swings there and clangs and knocks the
Hitting
paint
it
off
with
of
the shovel hammer. That's what getting it.
using the military surplus shovel, banging on the D shackle.
May or may not have tried that.
Oh dear. Of course you did. Of course. The soft shackle just makes a difference. It should be in your
soft shackle is.
Where is your soft shackle?
It's hanging out the front axle of the 36 still.
Well, that's a good place for it.
But it'll pull your hot rod onto your trailer really effective, and it won't scratch your front.
How long has it been on the 36?
Since I sandblasted the body.
Oh, that's not that long. Okay, I feel better about it.
Better.
Yeah, it's a month, but it's not.
It happened where I was like, where's my soft shackle? I need that.
Oh, you mean when we were trying to pull his car under the trailer?
Yes.
Mm.
That's when I needed it.
Yeah.
If you don't know what a soft shackle is, definitely head online, find what it is, and then add it to cart, whether it's with us or somebody else.
That or just go buy the tree saver that Scott has, and it's the same thing.
It's this big. But if you do have,
he tells his wife that it's this big for free chicken.
Tree saver, it'll add about a foot to your.
There's that exaggeration.
For special guest next week, Scott's Tree Saver will be on the show.
Oh,
right.
there may be a special guest actually on the show next week. I forgot to mention about that.
Jeffrey.
Production.
Anyway, so my next one is because we sheltered the front passengers. Now the back passengers need some sort of shelter. So
Bonnets. That's what my mom used to do. Bonnets.
A Jeep blanket. You have to have a Jeep blanket. Now, you can go as far as actually get a Jeep blanket where it has pictures of Jeeps and says Jeep on it. We've had that in our Jeep before. Or you can just go down to any blanket.
Oh, you're talking about just your standard blanket that lives in a vehicle.
And CJ should have a blanket in it.
Yeah, well, I mean, in my opinion, the family that I grew up in, all vehicles should have a blanket in it.
Agreed.
And
as a CJ, it's really more
100%, because of course the drafty top and
that's not a blanket at that point. You need like a double layer quilt.
I'm telling you, my best. One of my best. It was actually an on-road adventure that my wife and I were not married yet. We were young. We were dating. We were literally still, I think, teenagers. We were driving a Jeep with just a bikini top to South Carolina.
It was a YJ.
It was a YJ, 4-cylinder.
This classic.
It's basically this vintage list. It was just a bikini top. No other top piece, and we decided we were going to go on this couple-day drive down to the very bottom tip of South Carolina.
Need a blanket,
and it was a 4-cylinder automatic with slightly oversized tires, because that means that it was absolutely the worst dog over 55 miles per hour.
Anyone that thinks they're 3.6 or 3.8 is low on horsepower,
I'll show you something. I'll learn you something today. So we're driving this through the mountains, and I just remember it was just the coldest time of my life. And there's this girl that I had just been dating, maybe a year or two, and she's a trooper. We have our hoods up, pulled in at the cinched here at the bottom of our hoods, and she's holding a blanket across our Jeep blanket.
Yep.
She's holding it across the back seats. What that product used to be called a wind jammer. And that's when I knew she was.
And Chuck saying she didn't kill you, so she's
Chuck,
a keeper for sure.
That comes on the story where she was in heels, and we were supposed to be going to the movies, and instead I buried us in a mud pit. That was also when we were fresh dating. But that's on a previous episode, I'm pretty certain.
Yes.
Anywho, that's where the Jeep blanket comes really valuable.
And it's multi-use. When your CJ breaks down, you can lay on it, fix it.
Yeah.
Keeps the kids warm.
Yes.
If the kids are not there.
You can put out fires. You can put out fires with it. Mm-hmm. Ask me how I know.
And my guess is you're between $32 and $40.
If you want to get expensive on that, and I just make this recommendation because personalized gifts and you still have time to do it, head over to like Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, so on and so forth.
Your Jeep.
Put your Jeep or your loved one's Jeep on the blanket, pictures of your cool off-roading experiences, and boom, you are going to win Christmas. Not that Christmas is the time that you're supposed to win. All right. Good choices.
You're really competitive. Makes sense.
We are an interesting group, aren't we? All right.
I mean, I feel like it should be competitive.
Life is a competition.
That's right.
That's why you're gainfully employed under our corporation. But it's Christmas is not. All right, I'm gonna move into my continued under $50 range.
Yes.
I'm gonna go because it's the season of giving. I want to give.
Like, well, we should come up with 3. He's got like 18.
I thought he said 5, but
I said 3 to 5. Let's be specific. All right.
How many?
I had
15.
No. I'm gonna go with 2 bags in 2 different situations. Okay. So I'm condensing my gifts into the bag category. Organization, and this is where I'm going to give a quick shout out to an old time friend of ours who's a good USA manufacturer in Pittsburgh. He did not make our list, but I think he makes a really cool product for a lot of different platforms. So As He Design Works has a really cool product. It's a mole panel that goes in the back of your XJ Cherokee. I love an XJ Cherokee. But let's be honest, they're really fun to make fun of at this point in Jeep automotive history. With that said,
Up from
they are on the what?
What?
The what?
they're on their come up.
Okay.
They are a vintage Jeep.
They are a vintage
I just
Jeep.
want to say the second you said bag category, all I could think was fanny pack.
So I'm not on the fanny pack. I'm not there for it just yet. Though that is... If you know, and you need to go over to SMJ4x4.com and get yourself a fanny pack right now. You're going to want that fanny pack. No. So I'm going to give a shout out to
Even
Azzy
if it's a
and
gag
his design. Even if
Buy
it's,
it for the person.
why would it be a gag gift?
Because it's a
Why
fanny
would
pack.
it be a gag gift?
Because it's a fanny pack.
Fanny packs are incredibly versatile. And
Unless if you're Davey and you need to carry around all the camera gear, yes, I'll agree with you.
Davey bought a fanny pack in Las Vegas.
He had to.
Wore it proudly. It was a spoofed Supreme bag. Just that's what it was. It was like buying, Folkleys.
If you're gonna fanny pack, it has to be like pastel colors with the swish.
Oh my God! Just do it. Just do it.
Just do it all the way.
Well, you better wear the parachute pants.
So I'm going to move away from Azzy's mole panel for XJs, but I'm actually going to talk about 2 different bags. One that was released under SEMA. It is the worn passenger seat grab handle bag. It's just a really neat little triangle interior storage bag. If you are a wheeler who oftentimes is solo occupant of your vehicle, or if you do have your loved one, but they don't mind some type of organizational thing swinging dangerously close, haphazardly in front of them. This is a bag that attaches to the passenger side grab handle in just about any Jeep that has that. It's under $50. It's right at that $50 line. And it gives you a bunch of little pockets to stow gear and to secure it so that when you are off-roading, that shovel doesn't pop up behind the seats, come forward, and smack you in the head. I know that you're not worried about that because you go about 1.5 miles per hour off-road and
high adrenaline.
High adrenaline. The other bag that is high critical is a Trasheroo type bag. A big shout out to all of Trail Access. Your passenger side floorboard should not be a trash bag. Likewise, Mother Earth is not your trash bag. I'm looking at you, litter bugs. And what you should be doing is for when that Yahoo has their beer can that they shouldn't be, their trail soda that shouldn't be drinking on the trail, flies out of their vehicle. Yeah, that's crummy. But the next person coming down the line, we need to be able to jump out, smash that can, and throw it in a trash bag that's not in our vehicle. It needs to be hanging off the backside, the spare tire of our Jeep. And I know that we have a number of customers, and certainly we have some in-house family that have these bags. They attach over your spare tire. I've seen some people running down the highway with them. I don't know that I don't know I exactly recommend that, but certainly you get to the trail, you're going to be spending a period of time out there. Do your part to leave no trace, and then to do a better piece.
Z's saying, and hit them with your handy shovel.
That's hit the litter bug.
That quick way to crush the cane.
Or crush the cane. Oh, that's what you meant. I was taking care of litter bugs on the trail who are jeopardizing.
I thought that's what he was going with, too.
Jeopardizing our land use activities. But yeah, that's right. And we're gonna leave that open to interpretation of the viewer and listener. But some type of trasharoo trash bag can be had for typically under $50.
Well, Lee clarified it's not open for interpretation anymore. He's after the litter bug.
We are not condoning violence, but when we are, so
just leave the trail cleaner than you found it.
Just leave the trail cleaner than you found, and that's a way for us to support our community in that process. What do you got left on your list, sir?
Well, I have two things left.
Okay.
My basic, got a little kid and wants to buy dad or mom a Jeep playable thing. Everybody needs a Jeep keychain.
Nice.
Specifically, if you have CJ, it has to be CJ once I acquired.
That's true.
Once a title transfers, that should be your first purchase.
A CJ keychain.
CJ keychain.
100%.
I think you should purchase it before you even title transfer it.
Oh, yeah. That's one of those things you get. You're like, I'm going to buy that Jeep. And now you click buy now on Amazon.
Correct.
If I know all the other salty vintage guys out here, you get other ones that just CJ. Chris, Viking, Grill, and Mando Grills. So there's love for all of you.
Yes.
And they're ridiculously cheap. Literally $10. Dude, we really going to get Day and PJ and 40.
Whoa. You are proud.
You better show that thing off at 40.
I'm just going to walk into stores carrying my keys for first. Huh. What else what's your last piece? Or did you want to say it?
You got
all right, my last. No, I'm on to my last one. I am on to my last one. I will do my last one, folks. And it is a product that largely hit the markets here in 2022. It was debuted. I believe it was truly debuted at SEMA this year. It's a product from ARB. It's going to push $1,000. That's just the reality of the situation. And if you know me or us, you'll know how our love for high lift jacks. High lift jacks are versatile.
That thing hanging in your bumper.
A lot of you are just got it for decoration. I see you. I'm not going to make fun of you. I see you. Just know that.
Are you talking about the shotgun on the hood, Scott?
Something.
I'm not talking about that.
What's that thing on your bumper?
Listen, you can open things up with them, so it's like the jaws of life. You can close things. You can winch things.
It's a big handle with a long handle.
It is a really, you know what? You want to talk about hitting litter bugs and pounding tent stakes? I can do some business with
the bridge.
I have
see you, bridge.
I have seen you, Pennsylvania State Bridge System, and I know that you need to update your structural engineering.
Not someone.
Neil's phone's blowing up right now. What bridge are you talking about?
Here's the thing.
Bill said on my wish list.
So as it should be. So the high lift jack is spectacular in of itself, and it doesn't have to push $1,000 itself. High lift themselves is an amazing manufacturer with a decorated history. It is ultimately a farm jack. And so ultimately, if you're just getting into Jeeping,
all farm jacks are created equal.
Not all farm jacks are created equal. But here's the thing. I'm going to jump to my ARB because I could totally talk about why haven't we done #not sponsored on high lifts? We're going to. Boom. Production. Let's make that note. Here's the product that was released this year is the ARB hydraulic lift. And then basically, it's got a big giant foot. I don't even know. I can't even get my hands.
You're like taking out microphones and everything, trying to raise your hands up.
I'm so excited about this product. It's so interesting. It's huge. And it actually, you just run it. Farm jacks or high lifts themselves, they have an interesting ratcheting or climbing mechanism that climbs up and then it climbs down. It's a series of fins. Now, that's the thing. If falls down is an issue, is if you're not used to using the product, if it's not something,
don't pick up your legs.
Practice. It's literally a product you should be practicing with before you actually need to use it. we're badge of honors for high lifts. It's on the list. So so the ARB one, it actually just pumps up. It uses a standard hydraulic piston and it raises in the same vertical fashion. And now I honestly don't know if it can winch or squeeze. Somebody might weigh in and know whether or not that's the case. I didn't actually get that far down the rabbit hole to see that, but this ARB hydraulic farm, high lift farm jack,
The ARV's had a couple of different versions of this. You had one that you exhaust to fill up and lift up.
that was way long ago. Yeah.
a long time ago.
Yeah.
But basically, I think all yours was around you getting stuck in your feet.
You think I'm bringing some personal trauma to the storyline?
Totally trouble.
This is not true.
Literally the whole list.
Always.
You know what? I'm gonna agree to disagree with you.
So I have
No. Real quick, what items were flying around in your Jeep when you were ramming that snow that you needed the storage bag?
My winch.
Yeah. Okay. See the whole list.
Where's the winch?
We've just credited the whole list.
My winch was sliding from side to side in the of the Jeep.
No, it's not supposed to be in the back of the Jeep.
No, it's not supposed to be in the back Jeep. I'm just saying that's where it was.
Yeah.
As I careened through the field.
Scott's question is, where's it supposed to be?
On the front of my Jeep.
Uh-huh.
I have to find time to work on my own junk.
So I
You got what?
What?
Okay.
And the reason I'm not putting it on the list is I don't think it's not quite released yet. They're squeezing us a lot with it. And it's something that I personally like to do my 6 weeks of. And they finally made a 1/10 scale RC YJ that the top comes off, the windshield folds down, the doors come off. And
Really?
the best part is guys, you can buy this for your kids and it's really for you.
That's right. That's right.
But it's only $1 bajillion.
And it's only $329.
Oh, that's not bad.
Bad for an RC.
If you're an RC crawler, that's not, that's your life.
It'll break, and you and your loved small child can fix it together, and they will learn about mechanics, screwdriver, gears, etc.
In a controlled
and
environment.
disappointment.
That's
As it's broken on the shelf, all the way parts.
Put it up on jack stands on your dining room table.
Literally make scale jack stand. We may or may not have this.
I'm sure you do. There's nothing that surprises me whatsoever.
So that. Okay.
No, go ahead, Scott. Read that.
Rob Daddy Jeep says Tamio 1/10 body for starters. This takes that, he grows it up and under. This has been coming forever. Everybody used to have to take that body and make it own. This is a full functioning RC crawler with a YJ body. Everything is different.
So it comes out of the package as a YJ crawler.
Correct. You don't have to build it.
Okay.
And it's reasonably priced.
And I think so. I always tell people, like, there's certain things about me that I am a advocate for, which is kind of funny because there's a lot of things that I'm like, hey, I'm the best person in your corner, because I actually don't have a single like real RC crawler, and yet I'm 100% here for this, for you folks. So some of the technology, the terms, and all that kind of stuff are oftentimes a little lost on me. But I know a lot of our customer base loves their RC crawlers, and I'm here to advocate on your behalf. I love seeing a YJ out of the box be relevant in our full size, as far as our full vehicles that we could fit in, and our scale crawlers. How cool is that?
Yeah, and it gets a lot of kids interested in starting. And then you put on top of your shovels to keep it from crashing your shovel's head in the back of your Jeep.
As the scale crawler just flying around the Jeep?
It's meant.
Oh, and who's making that, or do you know?
So that is ROC is a I assume Chinese company, but they are doing something that others need.
Do you know that they're actually Chinese? They're just a foreign manufacturer. They're just a foreign manufacturer. Foreign. Let's say that. All right. What gifts are you wanting? What's on your wish list? I see that Bill McWilliams chimed in. He said it was on his wish list. So obviously something we've touched on there. It has obviously he's thinking about as well. What's on your list? We would love to know. Feel free to comment here. If there's a product that we didn't touch on that you were like, oh man, guys, I thought you were going to say this one. That would be really cool. Send that email to Jeff C at sfj4x4.com. We'd love to know what you guys are thinking tops your Christmas wish list.
And did I miss it, or did Scott just skip over the one gift that he claimed that he was going to go with right away, immediately? Gift cards.
Oh, I forgot.
You were so proud.
Firing right now.
So we would like for you to consider, shopping sfj4x4.com. Get yourself some of our very cool merchandise. You can have fun hats, hoodies, fanny packs, mugs, coffee, all of that kind of stuff.
And you can't decide on a style, get a gift card from us, and they can choose themselves.
And ultimately, if you get a sufficient gift card for yourself or your loved one, you too could put that in as a deposit and get on our service schedule. Obviously we're always actively doing, cool builds and maintenance and service for everyone, tire wheel packages, all that kind of cool stuff. It's okay. You can give that gift to yourself. And
we'll only judge a little bit.
We're not going to judge at all. We're totally gifting ourselves things as well this season. So, make sure that you consider shopping with us this season in part of your experience. Well, I think we've arrived at that point.
Yeah.
Oh, the last piece is if you're a really crummy gift giver, or you can't wrap a present worth anything like Scott, you can totally give a digital gift card, which will come with fun little graphics on it. You can shoot it right into so-and-so's email, and you never have to get out of your underwear at your computer chair in your mom's basement, and we can just shoot that gift card over to somebody. So,
speaking of wrapping, I was
going to say, how did he transition from in his underwear in his mom's basement?
You were talking about wrapping gifts, and you had a Facebook post about how great of wrapping you are. I think your wife actually posted it.
Oh yeah,
about how great of wrapping you are, and even all the pictures line up. I want to know how you make the pictures line up, because my wife commented, "Oh, Jeff's just as good at wrapping. We can wrap a gift pretty good, but I cannot make pictures line up. I want to know the secret."
It's all in the initial layout. It's a 100% in the initial layout, without question. So
this is get plain.
Here's the thing, right? And here's
no restrictions.
But oh my God, you're like wrapping in an old.
Are you wrapping the same size gift every time or something? Or
okay,
2 box.
No. So insight of who I am at my core. I love wrapping Christmas presents.
Of course you do.
100%. I love wrapping Christmas presents.
He wants to do.
It is just that's the thing. Anomaly, right? There's just
things,
weird aspects.
Everybody's like,
that is just my core in life. If you can pick like the arduous, mundane tasks that average society is like, I don't like that. I'm too hot. I'm too cold. I'm uncomfortable. Blah blah blah. I'm like, bring it on. I'm here for it. I love wrapping presents, and so for me, it's all about your initial fold. And you bring your paper over. You obviously have to have, square cuts. It's all about the right tool for the job. So we have to have a nice sharp pair of scissors or those really nice paper rippers. Good quality paper. None of this cheap dollar paper. If that's all you can afford, I support you in just doing the task, do the deed, give the gift. But
what happened to comics?
But if we're looking for it, we need good quality heavyweight paper. We use the slide handle slicer. We slice all the way down, so we get nice straight edges on your one side. So that gives us our pictures that can line up, and then it's all about lining it up on the ream itself. I'm telling you, it's all in the initial layout.
Are you a paper tape the box and then over top of guy, or are you a paper to paper?
It's a paper to paper. It's like you're welding. You're welding. A butt weld.
You're butt welding the wrap.
So you got to leave it on the roll on one side, and you got to get yourself a clean cut on the far side so that those pictures will line up. And then as you get to the picture, now you might need to cut, 2, 3, 4 more inches off of this cut side to get the pictures to line up once you cut off the roll.
So you're wasteful. You just scrap any extra paper because you want your images.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you're buying the expensive wrapping paper, and then you're throwing away all the extra scraps.
How did this turn into a Facebook post where we find wrongdoing? In just about everything. So you don't like that the sky is blue? I heard.
Somebody's got a troll. Chuck is saying, I'm glad my wife isn't listening, damn you.
Yeah. And then, dude, I bring the heat. I'll do a full ribbon wrap. I like the crisscross applesauce.
I agree.
I like to do that. I can do that. And then I do a full pigtail where you actually take the blade and 6-inch ribbon curls. 6 inches.
Bill's speaking Scots language. Gift card wrapping is cake.
Put it in the thing, off you go.
Yep.
And if you get the little scale, things that you put the gift card in, you can use it on your 1/10 scale IJ later for instance.
Stop it.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh,
All right.
that's time for a Jeep song.
I agree.
Before I get to the Jeep song, I'm going to bring up the fact that the Facebook post that is in question, because of course, I think people really, I think a lot of people listen and they're like, are you guys really like this? Is this really the case? Blah, blah, blah. Listen, I encourage you, like our social media is out there. Our families are out there. Our activities are out there. We socialize together. We professionalize together. This is the real deal, right? So,
This may have been a post my wife made calling me out on my non-rapping ability.
what I thought was hysterical, right? And so you can jump on, you can be part of that fun, and I encourage you to do that. We're happy to be friends with you. We're happy to be part of the Jeep community, the off-road, the auto industry, so on and so forth. You find us on Insta, Facebook, so on and so forth. I thought it was hysterical as I was scrolling. It was one of those situations, fast scroll, and I saw the post go by. And I didn't see who posted it. It was one of those, fantastic situations. I see the post go by and I don't see who posted it. And I look at the content of the post first and I was like, that's totally Scott. It's all about this, gifted mechanics who can diagnose just about anything, who have photogenic memory, who have the attention to detail to, rebuild an engine or whatever with their eyes shut. And yet when you ask them to wrap a present, it looks like, you threw it to the dogs and they ripped it apart.
Well, and that's why Kristen's chiming in saying gift bags.
Well, my wife too. Don't get
but then there's a whole, are you putting the tissue paper in the gift bag the right way and making it look right?
There is one way.
And my wife hates me for that, but I will make sure the tissue paper is right.
No, it requires tissue paper, and there is a right way to put it in.
Absolutely.
If you're going to do a gift bag, and you should still have ribbon and a bow off the top of the gift bag. FYI, guys who are listening, I'm looking at you. So. And I'm a dude's dude. Don't get me wrong, but I'll bring the heat on some gift wrapping. So I thought it was funny because I scroll back and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to steal this and share it over to you. And come to find out it was actually your wife trolling you about your own gift wrapping. To which point I think my wife actually jumped in and started having a conversation. So of course I had to derail that comment that she had put on there in the most appropriate fashion and move on with our story. But it was awesome. It was fantastic. I am, again, per usual, trying desperately not to sing this, but here we go. Oh, we actually have to add ones today.
Yeah, you're doing 8 days today.
So drop that funky beat, Scott. Savage, would you like to drop some beat?
Oh, he almost did. He
looked at us. He looked at us like he was like
he did that edge up in the seat. Like, yeah, I'm gonna. No, just kidding.
I say though, I listened to this last week from my EV chair and trying to get better, and I feel like it's rote for me.
You're not even 40, and you just use the term easy chair.
Yeah, it's true.
I love that.
Nothing. I got nothing,
dude. You were born an 80-year-old man.
That is true.
So how do I have to start this? I don't even remember.
Start on the first day and work
first
your way
day,
through.
And then I work my way up to what day?
The one that's crossed off.
I know, but what did we do? We went to the 4th day last week, right? And I get no beat, and it's just straight acapella.
That's
you
right.
Want to sing with me? That was like Congo drums.
I was gonna say, how are you gonna sing to that beat?
Terrible. Hear that at home? He was playing the Congo drums on the table. All right, folks, this is the moment we've all not been waiting for. On the first day of Christmas, my true love gave to me a Jeepster in a spring green, which is just
me.
Spring green. On the second day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in spring
You really need to
green.
protect your old Jeepster body. I mean,
You
come
do. There's been a ton of them for sale recently.
I know it has.
That page is on fire. On the 3rd day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in spring green. Is this 3 inches? On the 4th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 4 beadlock wheels, 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in a spring green color.
Locks because the tires are so small to fit the wheel wells.
On the 5th day of Christmas, my true love. Yeah, because there are only 4 beadlocks, which we would never recommend to anybody. On the 5th day of Christmas, because he's a JT owner, and they put their spare under the bed where nobody can see them.
I still use it. I rotate all 5.
Day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. I should have read this before I start singing. 5 golden ducks.
No.
4 beadlock wheels. Allison's going to be after you on that one.
Right?
4 beadlock wheels, 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in spring green. On the 1st day of Christmas, my true love gave to me. Oh, am I supposed to say? No, I'm supposed to start with 6.
Yeah, but just to clarify now, Chuck is saying the internet is forever. So,
Scott, you're a SOL. You're the duck group is going to be after you, man. On the 6th day of Christmas, you have all the ducks on your Jeep, though. You literally have like a big
it's
one.
because he finally got a duck. He finally got a duck, and he
was
just
like the Grinch.
Oh my God, yeah.
Ducking, and then he's like, he got ducked, and now I'm going to display them all in my big tank green monster.
When Allison was here on the show, he's like, oh, more ducks? I'll take all the ducks.
He has all the ducks. On the 6th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 6 quarts of oil. That's obviously not a JL. It's not a JL. It's not a JT. It's for the Jeepster. 5 golden ducks, 4 beadlock wheels, 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in spring green. On the 7th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 7 Jeep t-shirts. We didn't even make our list this year. 6 quarts of oil, 5 golden ducks, 4 beadlock wheels, 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster in spring green color. On the 8th day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 8 new control arms.
Because the Jeepster needs to get those leak fins.
It's not about Jeepsters. T-shirts, 6 quarts of oil, 5 golden ducks, 4 beadlock wheels, 3-inch lift springs, 2 rocker rails, and a Jeepster that Scott can't have in green.
I must have channeled my inner Scott writing that for the Jeepster stuff.
Folks, one episode left.
A microphone at me.
One episode left. You're not going to want to miss it. Apparently, there's a special guest. We're going to be doing a topic that we've not even been revealed to us yet. Scott's going to have note cards that he has to keep up with things.
I'm excited for the Jeepster one.
It's not about Jeepsters. And then we're going to be taking a break. If you're listening to us, you've got some more content coming your way. If you are a viewer, a person who joins in regularly on our live or our YouTube page, jump on, download our podcast, get onto your favorite streaming platform, get that extra content. You want that, no doubt. We thank you for your support, your participation in 2022. One singular episode left where you get to interact with us and play with us in 2022. Then we're on a break. We're going to bring back a fresh possibly a fresh studio, possibly some fresh, interesting content, and a whole lot of guests that you're asking to see on this program. Thank you so much for being part of this. Head over to YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe both the SFJ 4x4 TV and the I Speak Jeep podcast channel. Be on both of those and get those notifications for cool, fun, off-road, automotive, entertainment content. Until then,
Jeep on.
Jeep on.